You're 7 years old. It's getting dark outside. You're sitting on Grandmama's couch, and a bird flies through the open window and into the living room. And you watch your grandmother's face change. The color drains. Her eyes go wide, and she says in a voice you've never heard before, "Someone in this family is going to die." That's not how she said it, anyway. To her, it wasn't a superstition or a wives' tale. It was a warning. And in that moment, you believe her with every cell in your body. Or at least, it feels that way right then. I'm about to tell you the scary stories that Black grandmothers told in the 1970s. Not ghost stories for entertainment. Real warnings about signs, omens, and things you don't mess with. The stories that kept you up at night. The stories that you still think about when something strange happens. And here's what makes them truly terrifying. They weren't trying to scare you. They were trying to save you. Story 1. The Bird in the House, Death's Messenger. It happened in the daytime. That's what made it worse. Not at midnight, not during a storm. Just a regular Tuesday afternoon in 1974, and a small brown bird flew through Grandmama's kitchen window. The whole house stopped. My aunt was washing dishes. Her hands froze in the soapy water. My uncle was reading the newspaper. It dropped to his lap. And Grandmama stood up from her chair like she'd been struck by lightning. "Get that bird out," she said. Not loud, almost a whisper, but there was fear in her voice that I'd never heard before. "Get it out now, but don't kill it. Whatever you do, don't kill it." My uncle tried to shoo it toward the door. The bird panicked, flying in circles, hitting windows, knocking over a lamp. My aunt was crying, not because of the bird, because of what it meant. Finally, after what felt like hours, or maybe just minutes that felt longer, the bird found the open door. At least, that's how it felt to us, like the omen had already been delivered. Grandmama made us all sit down, and she explained it, her voice steady but her hands shaking. Birds belong outside. When they cross into our world, into the house where we live, they're messengers, and there's only one message they bring. Death is coming for someone in this family. "Who?" my aunt asked, tears still on her face. "We won't know until it happens. Could be days, could be weeks, but it's coming." 3 weeks later, my grandfather, Grandmama's husband of 43 years, had a massive heart attack and died in that same kitchen. Coincidence? Maybe, but nobody in that room believed it was. But you try telling that to my grandmother. You try telling that to any of us who were there that day and watched a bird deliver news we didn't want to hear. And here's what makes it scary. It's happened in other families. Different birds, different houses, different years. But the story is always the same. Bird comes in, someone dies soon after. You can call it superstition, but when you see that bird, you'll remember this story, and you'll be afraid. Grandmama had a rocking chair on the front porch. Old wooden thing, been in the family for generations. During the day, she'd sit there and watch the neighborhood, shell peas, talk to neighbors passing by, rock gentle and peaceful. But at night, that chair stayed empty. Nobody sat in it after the sun went down. And if you walked past that porch after dark and saw it rocking, even slightly, even from wind, you got inside fast and you locked the door. because an empty rocking chair moving at night means something is sitting in it, something you can't see, and that something is death itself, making itself comfortable, waiting. My uncle, Mama's younger brother, didn't believe it. He was 16, trying to be brave, trying to prove superstitions were stupid. So one night around 10 p.m., he went out on that porch and deliberately pushed that rocking chair, set it moving, stood there watching it rock in the moonlight, laughing about how nothing was happening. Grandmama heard it from inside, the rhythmic creak of wood on wood, and she came to that screen door with a look on her face I'll never forget. "Boy," she said, quiet and cold, "you just invited death to sit down. You just told it this house is ready. Now you better pray it decides to leave." My uncle laughed it off, went to bed thinking Grandmama was just old and superstitious. 2 days later, he got hit by a car while crossing the street, broke both legs, fractured his skull, and spent 2 weeks in the hospital. He survived, barely, but he walked with a limp for the rest of his life. Grandmama visited him in the hospital, stood by his bed and said, "Death came knocking. You invited it, but God had mercy and took just your walk instead of your life. Don't ever rock an empty chair again." He never did. None of us did. Because whether you believed it was something supernatural or just a terrible accident, the fear is real. The consequence was real, and when you see an empty rocking chair moving, even now, even as an adult, you feel that childhood terror come right back. Story 3. When your ears burn, someone speaks your name. This one sounds harmless, silly even, but the way Grandmama told it made it terrifying. "When your ears burn, someone's talking about you," she'd say. That part everyone knows. But she'd continue, "Right ear burning, they're saying good things. Left ear burning, they're saying bad things. Things that could hurt you, lies, gossip, words that could destroy you. Both ears burning at the same time, someone's working roots on you. Someone's trying to curse you. And you better start praying right then and there, because words have power, and some people know how to use words like weapons." I remember being 9 years old, sitting in church, and both my ears started burning, hot, painful. I couldn't focus on the sermon, couldn't think about anything except Grandmama's warning. Someone was talking about me. Someone was doing more than talking. They were trying to hurt me. After church, I ran to Grandmama, crying, told her what happened, and she didn't dismiss it, didn't tell me I was being dramatic. She took it seriously. She prayed over me right there, made me spit on the ground 3 times, made me turn around in a circle counterclockwise to reverse whatever was being said. Then she gave me a small piece of paper with a Bible verse written on it and told me to keep it in my pocket all week. "Someone was working against you," she said, "but we broke it. You're protected now." Was someone really cursing me? Probably not. I was 9. The fear was real. You could feel it sitting heavy in your chest. The belief was real. And the comfort of Grandmama's protection was real too. And even now, when my ears burn, both of them hot and sudden, I think about that day in church. I think about Grandmama's warning, and I say a little prayer, just in case. Because you don't know who might be talking about you. You don't know what they might be saying. And if words have power, if speaking someone's name can affect them across distance, then you better be careful whose mouth you're in. Story 4. The Black Cat at Midnight. Everyone knows black cats are supposedly unlucky, but Grandmama's version was specific and terrifying. If a black cat crosses your path during the day, that's one thing. Bad luck maybe, but manageable. But if a black cat crosses your path at midnight, exactly midnight, that's not a cat, that's a witch, and she just marked you. Marked for what? I asked. Marked for watching, marked for tormenting, marked for whatever evil she's got planned. She told me the story of her cousin back in the 1940s who was walking home from a party one night, checked his watch, exactly midnight, and a black cat appeared from nowhere, walked right across his path, stopped, and looked at him with yellow eyes that seemed to glow, then vanished into shadows. 3 days later, he started having nightmares. Every night, the same dream. A woman standing at the foot of his bed, staring at him, not moving, just watching. He'd wake up screaming, swearing she was real, that someone had been in his room. The dreams went on for a month. He stopped sleeping, lost weight, started talking to himself. His family thought he was going crazy. Finally, they took him to a root worker, someone who knew about these things. The root worker told him, "A witch marked you at midnight. She's been visiting you every night. She's feeding on your fear." The root worker gave him protections: salt under his pillow, Bible under his mattress, specific prayers to say before sleep. And slowly, over weeks, the nightmares stopped. The woman faded. He survived. But he was never quite the same. There was a nervousness in him that wasn't there before, a fear of darkness, a habit of checking his watch when he was out at night, making sure he was home before midnight. Grandmama told me, black cats are just cats during the day, but at midnight, some of them are women in disguise, and if one marks you, you pray it was just a cat. I'm 50 years old now, and I still don't go out at midnight. And if I see a black cat at night, any time at night, I'd take a different path, because I remember that story. I remember the fear in Grandmama's eyes, and I'm not brave enough to test it. Story 5. The 3 Knocks. Death announcing itself. This one isn't about omens or warnings. This one is about death itself, coming to tell you it's ready. Grandmama said, when someone's about to die, death knocks 3 times, always 3, never 2, never 4. 3 knocks at the door or window, and within 3 days, someone dies. Who hears the knocks? I asked. Usually the person who's going to die, sometimes a family member who's close to them, but always 3 knocks. Death is polite. It announces itself. My grandmother heard the 3 knocks twice in her life. The first time was 1952. She was alone in the house washing dishes after dinner. 3 loud knocks on the front door. She dried her hands, went to answer it. Nobody there. Street was empty. She went back to her dishes, thinking someone was playing pranks. 3 more knocks, this time at the back door. She opened it immediately, fast enough that nobody could run away. Still nobody there. And then 3 knocks on the kitchen window, right next to her head. She knew then. Death was announcing itself. Someone close to her was going to die. 3 days later, her mother, my great-grandmother, died in her sleep. Peaceful, painless, but dead. The second time was 1971. She heard 3 knocks on her bedroom window at 2 a.m. She didn't even get up to check. She knew what it meant. 3 days later, her best friend since childhood died of a stroke. After that, Grandmama lived with a kind of vigilance. She listened for knocks, she counted them, and whenever someone knocked more than twice on her door for any reason, she'd stop them. "Don't knock again," she'd say. "Come in, but don't knock that third time." Because 3 knocks means death is announcing itself, and once you hear it, there's no taking it back. All you can do is wait and see who it came for. The truth behind the fear. Here's what you need to understand. These weren't just stories told to scare children. These were warnings passed down through generations, rooted in African spiritual traditions, mixed with Christianity, shaped by centuries of Black experience in America. Our grandmothers believed in things beyond what eyes can see. They believed in signs, in omens, in the thin veil between life and death. And they believed that if you paid attention, if you watched for the warnings, you could sometimes prepare yourself, sometimes protect yourself, sometimes survive what was coming. Were they right? I don't know. I can't prove birds are death messengers, or that empty chairs rock for spirits, or that burning ears mean someone's cursing you. But I know this: when you grow up with these stories, they get inside you. They shape how you see the world. They create a sense of mystery, of danger, of something larger than yourself operating behind the scenes. And even now, decades later, when something strange happens, a bird flies too close, a chair moves without wind, my ears burn hot. I remember Grandmama's voice, her warnings, her fear. And I'm careful, because maybe, just maybe, she was right. These are the scary stories Black grandmothers told in the 1970s. Not for fun, not for entertainment, for protection. They wanted us to know the signs, to recognize the omens, to be careful, to be watchful, to understand that the world is stranger and more dangerous than we know. You can call it superstition, you can call it folklore, you can say it's all coincidence and imagination. But when you see that bird fly through your window, you'll think of this story. When you see that empty chair rocking, you'll remember. When your ears burn, you'll wonder. Because deep down, in the place where childhood fears live forever, you'll know. Your grandmother was trying to tell you something true, and you should have listened better.